Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, Texas gets the win, just barely. We'll talk about that. Mock 5, top 5. We'll open the envelopes and see if anybody gets any points. It is the Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. We are down one outsider. We'll explain why in a second, but hey, we're brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. I got one of the comfy Poncho t-shirts on. I can't take them off. They're comfy. I was working outside in one of them today. I'm going to sleep in this one tonight. Bo's got the Longhorn little logo in there. Look at this thing. Look at this thing with the little Longhorn. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Got the Longhorn logo on there.
I'd
Plus,
say if the Longhorns won a natty, I got my money back, but Poncho gave me the shirt, so I don't think they're going to give me money, and I don't think Longhorns are winning a natty.
yeah. Plus, I'll show you a little pink and black. Let's start with the pink, which we've shown you. We're still in October, so you got a chance. 50% of the profits from Poncho's pink stuff in October gets donated to Casting for Recovery, helping fund free fly fishing wellness retreats for breast cancer patients. It is a great organization. And remember, fellas, you just might be with a woman that loves a guy in a pink shirt. You got to ask that question. Or maybe you want to go black. Check this one out. If you're into music and you love your Austin City Limits, they got a new shirt honoring the greatness of Austin City Limits. It's called the After Dark. Check out ponchooutdoors.com/outsiders. You'll get $10 off your first order. Also, there's a limited edition t-shirt, as you can see in the lower right. So all the cool shirts, all the cool t-shirts. Look at the great design on the back of that shirt with the Austin City Limits. Very cool. ponchooutdoors.com/outsiders. Get $10 off your first order. All right, gentlemen. First off, we wish all the best to Jason Dick, dealing with some family stuff this week. Hopefully, he'll be back with us next week. So all the best to Jason and his family. We got Chance Mock. We got Bo Edge, the Country Gorilla. I'm Chad Hastings, and the Longhorns are 5-2. You think 4-2 is better than 3-3? Woo, 5-2. Whole lot better than what 4-3 would have been. My God, gentlemen. 16-13, an overtime win in Lexington, the thinnest of margins. Which one of you guys wants to take this on first? Well, who's got a thought to get us started on what we saw?
Go ahead, Bo.
Well, I have a lot of thoughts, and none of them good. I will preface it by saying this, because you've seen it on the Twitters and all the things. No, this isn't the first time somebody went on the road in SEC and squeaked out a win. It's happened to Kentucky. Every year it happens to somebody when they go to Kentucky. I acknowledge all of that. This wasn't that. This wasn't some home crowd advantage, or the refs made some calls that benefited the home team, or the travel was tough, or there was weather. No. Texas went out and laid a turd on the middle of the 50-yard line on offense. That was gross. The defense did really good. The defense looked amazing. And I'm sorry, but anybody that has one critique of that defense is just being stupid. The defense played their ass off at every level and every guy on the field. That doesn't mean a guy didn't make a mistake, but the defense balled out. And I've seen a lot of things about play calling, and maybe play calling played a role in it. It was just bad. It was bad that we can't run the football. It was bad that the quarterback, and I'm not trying to single out Arch, but there were some egregious misfires and reads that weren't made. And to me, that falls down to coaching. And that's where I'm going to get on Sark on this one. Sark has to open his eyes to the fact that if his name wasn't Arch and he was just misfiring so badly, someone else would come in.
If his last name was Mock?
No, don't do that.
No, if his last name was Mock, he'd have been benched week 1, but that's not for the on-the-field stuff.
No, but it's true.
That's 100% true.
It's so rude. By the way, that question did get asked. Chance, before I let you comment, Sark was asked this week about what he sees with quarterbacks and would he consider, how does he balance, letting a guy play through it or benching somebody like he did with Quinn Ewers. He said Quinn and the offense was overwhelmed last year against Georgia. That's why he went with the switch. He said he didn't feel like Arch was in that position. He said he felt like Arch was seeing things all right and didn't feel overwhelmed to him. So, Chance, give me your thoughts.
My thoughts are, after this week, I really looked at myself and I thought, I need to readjust my expectations for this football team. That's really what I thought. I thought the frustration that I've had with the performance of this offense, the frustrations I've had with Arch, the frustrations I've had with Sark have become readily apparent after. I mean, guys, we're 7 games in. Like you are who you are at this point, and unfortunately, that's what they are. I think we bought into an offensive line that even though they were replacing 4 guys, they were supposed to be studs coming in that we thought were going to be really good. We had a running back stable that was supposed to be great that has been once again bit by the injury bug. We had some young wide receivers coming in who we thought were really going to do some great things, have some great separation, create easy throws for Arch. We thought Sark was going to be able to open up the offense with this quarterback that likes to stretch the field, likes to throw it downfield, and we were going to be able to have an exciting offense. And we thought we were going to have a quarterback that could hit, that was going to perform at a better level really early. And the expectations put on him were completely unfair. I think the expectations for the offensive team was unfair. I think the expectations for Arch were really unfair. And I watched the game Saturday night and I thought, this is just not a good offensive football team. They're just not. And I think it's easier not to get frustrated when you expect a little bit out of them, you know? But
Right.
when you keep expecting them, okay, they're going to figure it out. We got Mosby back. Oh, we're going to figure it out. You know, Wingo's going to come along. And all right, we got Wisner back. And the offensive line played really well against that front at Oklahoma. And okay, they're getting it. And then you turn around and do that. And it's like, they are who they are right now. And it doesn't mean they can't be great down the road, but right now they're not.
All right. So, Chance, when you say you're adjusting your expectations, how? Like, tell me where were you going in? Where were you coming out? Like, are you talking about planning for 2 more losses? Like, what do you mean adjust expectations?
I think I expected this football team to be able to score 35 points a game. You know, once you in the preseason, and probably in somewhere in the 28 to 30 points a game once they got to SEC play. That's where I expected them to be. I think I have to adjust my expectation now to say our defense is going to have to hold teams to 10 to 13 points if we're going to be in games. Like, that's just realistically where I feel we are. And it's not on a knock on the kids. And, you know, you see people on Twitter get all butthurt when you say things. And, of course, Sark is going to get defensive because those are his guys. And I understand that because it's very personal to them. It's their job. It's what they do. And I understand why they get defensive. That being said, you don't make the millions of dollars if there's not eyes on the TV. You don't make millions of dollars in NIL money if people aren't wanting to watch you play. So you got to be willing to take the criticism at the same time, and the product on the field is just not good. So my expectation is if we can somehow figure out, whether it's through special teams and putting a touchdown and a pair of field goals up there, if we can figure out how to score 18 to 20 points a game and our defense can keep them under 13, then we got a chance to win. That's my expectation.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask of a defense, Bo, but I think chances that's about the neighborhood that you got to keep it in.
So I'm going to take what he did and amend it a little. I don't think 10 is a number that I think they can do better than 10. And I'll tell you how. Sark has to let off the reins of doing it the way, repeating the same steps and running the same offense because it's worked time and time again. And I saw the press conference today, and he basically made it seem like I was hired to call plays because I'm such a good coordinator. I'm going to call the plays. That's fine. But whatever backroom deal you made with the Manning family, right now, Arch Manning is not capable mentally. I'm not saying physically. I know the guy can throw a football. He is not seeing the throws quick enough to hit them in stride. He's misfiring due to timing and mechanical issues. And he does still have one attribute in running the football that we got to start using. And if he gets hurt, I'm sorry, but he's part of an 85-man roster. It's not Arch Manning and the 84 other dudes. The other 84 are busting their ass every single day. You've got to use whatever's in the toolbox. And right now that may mean sprint outs with Arch, play action rollouts with Arch. I don't care if they run the damn zone read 5 times with Arch. Make the defense be able to adjust to what you're doing and not just the same things, because we're doing the same things over and over. And yes, the plays are there. How many times do we have to say Ryan Wingo's open on a drag route that Arch misfires dramatically on? That could have been a big play. Well, guess what? He's misfired on it 5 weeks in a row. So take that play out, even if it's wide open, because he can't make the throw right now. Whether it's the read, whether it's the mechanics, whatever it is, make the throws he can make.
Interesting. Chance, I want to get your thoughts on that. And I had an additional question for you along those lines. It is The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho Outdoors, as always. Also, some other great partners around, and that includes the good folks at Covert Ford. Let's hear from Kimberly, and then we'll keep talking about Arch.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert, and since 1909, the Covert family has been committed to Austin's community. For 116 years, we've grown with Texas, driving progress, building trust, and serving the Austin community. Whether it's the all-new 2025 F-150 or the versatile 2025 Ford Maverick, we're here to help you find the perfect fit, just like we've done for generations. At Covert Ford, it's more than cars. It's about family, service, and a legacy of trust. Visit covertford.com and become part of our story.
All right, so Chance, let's dig in on where Bo just left off, because I think it's an interesting point. Let's just focus in on, maybe we can even, I was going to say 2 passes to Wingo. Maybe it's just one, because there was one to Wingo that was a little behind him, but Wingo has to make that catch. If you're a wide receiver number 1, you got to adjust and make the catch. Let's talk about the one early in the game that he just missed. And then there's the one maybe to injuries later that he missed. So give me your quarterback / coaching discussion here on, I'm Sark, and I see my guy miss that bad on a throw. His rating in this game was actually worse than the UTEP game, if that's possible, which is wild when I looked it up. I'm like, wait a minute. He missed 10 in a row against UTEP. He missed 9 out of 10 in a stretch against Kentucky. To Bo's point, we know the throws are there. We know he can physically make a lot of throws, but he's just missing on some that look easy to our eyes. So do you agree with Bo that this needs to be Sark adjusts something to find more comfort for Arch? Or is this, you would say to 16, quarterback to quarterback, bruh, you got to hit that route, period?
Well, I think early in the season you could have. I think right now we're beyond that, because it's more than a physical thing. It's something that doesn't work. And this is, and to Bo's point, and I agree, Sark's got to make some adjustment. But here's where I have a hard time being the Monday morning quarterback, or in this case, the Tuesday morning quarterback, and going and saying, well, Sark should do this or Sark should do that, because in all reality, we don't know what goes on at practice. We don't see how he completes other throws. We don't see if maybe they've been trying to do some things and they're not working out, and this is the best. We don't know that. So I have a struggle with that. What I do know is he's late on his reads. And I think what Texas fans are getting an idea of, which is really impressive, is how important timing is and having your eyes in the right spot, and how underappreciated that is with a lot of quarterbacks, because they make things look easy and it's really not. That being said, one thing there are throws that is readily apparent Arch is not comfortable with, and he does not make them right now. And that doesn't mean, again, it's not negative. It's just a fact. And there's nobody that wants to succeed more than Arch, I guarantee you, except for maybe his grandfather and his parents, because you don't know it was always easier for me than it was for my parents, because you love your kids and you want to defend them, and you want them to have success. That being said, I want to see them succeed. I think they're great kids. Take football out of it. Like, you look at the answer from Colin Simmons and you go, my God, how is this team not having more success when you have the maturity of guys to answer like that? But then at the same time, you look at Michael Taft jumping up in the middle of the interview, and I appreciate it, Mike. I love Michael Taft. I love his heart. I love the way the kid plays, but the answer can't be, we got to win. Let's smile. We got to win. Well, yeah, I get it, bud, but we're 7 games in and things aren't looking very good. And at some point we got to go, hey, we got to clean things up and not be getting upset at the people who built you up in the first place, because and I thought about this morning, guys, and I'd love to hear both of your thoughts on this, on how the difference of this season turns out. Let's say Texas starts off, people look at what's coming back, and look, hat tip to Billy Lucci. He pointed it out all offseason. You got a lot of guys to replace. There's a lot of guys on that line. And he said it was roasted for it. But let's be honest. If the name Manning isn't at quarterback, and Sark isn't the head coach, and let's say Texas starts out the season at 10 or 11. You still got to go to Ohio State, but there's nowhere near the pressure. Arch isn't the Heisman. How does the differential for a young team not having that pressure from the beginning, and then when it doesn't happen, now you feel like you're in a press mode all the time and it's just thrown everything off? How much different would this season be if, let's say, we flip-flop where the Aggies were preseason and where the Longhorns were preseason? How does that develop differently with a young team mentally to be able to handle that pressure and grow into it?
Bo, what do you think?
Normally I would understand what you're saying with the pressure and all those things, but this team was built for that. They've been to 2 straight playoffs. It's not like they aren't the up and comer. You come to Texas for a reason to play for a standard, just like you do at Ohio State, just like you do at Georgia or Alabama, who has gone through a little bit of a rough patch, but now Kalen DeBoer is the greatest thing since sliced bread again when he was about to be fired after their loss to Florida State. Like things change on a dime. Texas has guys open, and when the light switch clicks for Arch, I think they will be hit. My answer to that would be if his name wasn't Arch Manning, he would have been benched that game.
You think you'd have been benched in Ohio State?
No, for Kentucky.
I get it, but I'm saying that
let's just say that Arch Manning was named Chad Powers. Chad Powers would have been sitting on the bench to start the second half of that game after those egregious misfires.
You're assuming deep down he thinks Caldwell could help him. We don't know that.
But you're also
this is seventh grade quarterback could have helped. There were wide open receivers. The ball never left his hand. Now, part of that is the offensive line not blocking well, but they blocked well in spurts. They did enough against Oklahoma for him to get throws off. The premise being,
what happened to the running game?
We didn't call runs.
Where'd it go? We
got stopped twice, and then it was like
we just abandoned it.
I realize that Arch's best attribute is deeper throws, but when you know your line isn't going to hold up against pressure, and you've seen it for a half, why the hell do you roll out in the second half? I watched 2 plays where the first break on a route was after 10 yards. There were 4 receivers in the route, and all of them were at some variant verticals or deeper middles or deeper outs. Yeah, he misfired on a drag to Wingo, but it was there. Why don't you go back to it? And if they cover it this time, guess what? It means someone else is open and there's a void. There was no creativity for the creative play caller to figure out ways to identify what was working that we misfired on and repurpose it. No, we kept doing the same stupid crap and trying to throw deep because that's Arch's best skill set. Well, you don't tailor the offense to the best attribute when it's not working. You replace the attribute. I'm not saying Arch should have been benched, but if Sark can't just keep calling the same plays and expect different results, Arch is not making those reads.
Well, I think, and again, I have to give credit to the people that said it, and Rod Babers made a really, really good point. At some point, it's – and Rod didn't say this, but I thought about it. When you've got Eminem and 8 Mile, and he's like, we got to stop trying to live up here and just start living down here. And it's not that you want to start living down here or up here. It's that Rod made a really good point. There's who you want to be and who you can be. And at some point, you got to choose, but you got who you want to be, what kind of offense you want to run, and what kind of offense your team is going to be successful at running. And you have to choose between those two. You have to choose it. And if you are so stuck on this is who we want to be, and that's what you're going to keep you're going to die on that hill, as opposed to being, okay, we can have success we're going to have to adjust.
Well, Chance, and I'm glad we're not in the same room, because if we were, even though you're one of my best friends, you probably punch me in the face when I make this statement. But Mac Brown had built an offense for years around vertical passing and spreading people out and running out of the spread. And Vince was amazing. And this isn't about a Vince thing. They changed the offense to fit Vince. It's the whole documentary. Let Vince be Vince. And all of a sudden the zone read comes into play, because I'll give Mac and Greg Davis credit. They at least realized if they were going to roll with Vince, they couldn't do it with the same offense you were running. That's not what he was built for. He was not built for precision passing and 4 and 5 wide attacks. So they needed a run-based attack. Run-based attack with Arch.
Okay, hold on, Bo. You're telling me after a full offseason of knowing exactly what he had, you're telling me that Sark is square peg round holing Arch Manning and his offense? Like he's being stubborn and he's not making an offense that works for Arch?
Well, I think this is alluding to what Chance mentioned earlier, which is probably a bigger part of the story than any of us realize because we aren't there. What's happening in practice is not resembling what's happening on the field. Arch in a light setting at UT campus after going to 2 classes and hitting the cafeteria for a Sando is winging it around like he's freaking, he's
Sando.
He's Tom Brady out there. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's open. That guy's open. And then he gets in the. I don't
Taff,
think
you and me. Sando. Sando.
I don't think Arch is physically missing these
I
throws
think the
because he's a
THC
bad
drinks
passer.
are getting the bow.
Huh?
The THC drinks are getting the bow.
Wait, because I said Sando?
Let's go get a Sando, bro.
Sando.
No THC drink today, so that's not the case. It's Dr. Pepper and water. But my point is, Sark is falling into that defeatist mindset. If he sees it happen in practice and thinks, okay, it'll be different this time when we go on the road and play it, and then it's not. And then he doesn't adjust to it because this is Sark's biggest flaw. He believes so much in his guys sometimes that he thinks they can run through a wall, even if the wall is made of reinforced concrete and rebar, because he saw him do it once. So he thinks they can keep recreating it. He needs to dumb down the offense to what Arch is doing in games. I don't know what he's doing in practice, but there is a way. The defense, I think 10's a little light. I think 17 is a realistic number for every team Texas plays the rest of the year, except for Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what they've been doing if you think about it. This defense has been able to hold over a big stretch. The offense has been, go back to Quinn, whatever. In the biggest games, it's 17 or less. So that defense probably needs to think about holding teams around, 14.
Well, call Arch Trent Dilfer for the next 7 weeks, and let's go 2,000 Baltimore Ravens and just win by bulldozing people. And that means on defense, going balls to the wall, taking chances, no more bend but don't break. And it's working. I get it. I get all those things, but they need to become the attacking defense. They need to become the 2000 Miami Hurricanes defense and let the offense do what it does. And if you do those things, the running game will get better. Everybody will fall into a flow. And Chance, tell me when I'm wrong here. When they start winning, the confidence boosts back up and the performance will then match that confidence. Because right now it's a confidence or a mentality more than it is anything.
Well, and I think, Bo, you hit on something. It can be one of Sark's weak points, but I also think it's why a lot of his players love him is that he does believe in his guys. He does. He truly believes in his guys. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but that goes to, I'm not one of those that says Sark needs to give up play calling. I think, you know what, he's getting paid. He reserves the right to not kick on the on the play calling. That being said, I'm a big advocate. They need to get somebody in there that can have frank conversations, that can be critical and say, hey, that can just be in his ear. Somebody that Sark trusts, somebody that he can have come in there and say, dude, we're doing this. It's not working. We got to change. Somebody because you need that.
Chance, are you talking about like front office stuff? Or are you talking about extra eye in the sky during the game?
I'm extra eye in the sky in the game. I want somebody that's, but that can be more critical, because I think you need to be critical, and it needs to be. That's all I want. When I used to call the offensive in the little Pop Warner, 0. Now kids couldn't execute quite as well as these young men, but nowhere near the pressure. So I understand that. But even in the middle of those games, Vincent Sinisi would sit next to me and we would coach together, and he would sit next to me and I'd go, all right, I think I'm going this here. He goes, you see what they're doing on the backside over there? Like, I really don't like that. And then I'd go, yeah, you're probably right. And then I would change my mind and we'd end up in a better situation. And there was other times I'm going, hey, let's do this here. And he goes, I love it. And it just creates that little back and forth to at least put the thought in my head, because when you're in the flow of a game, and what was really funny this weekend, what did we used to get mad about Sark? all the time is that he sticks to the run. He's committed to the run. He would stay with the run even when it wasn't working because you can't give up on the run. Like, you need to be able to run the football effectively, or at least have the thought that you might run the football so that your front seven doesn't just pin their ears back and come after you every freaking time. And then this weekend, after a really great rushing game in Oklahoma, we just went, oh, it didn't work. We're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, and couldn't get back-to-back good games out of Trey Wisner. I feel like we just have never seen that. That was unfortunate. And then obviously just that offense could not get going.
All that being said, I looked at it. Y'all can look at it on your own time. If Texas gets to 9-3, they're going to get in the playoff. I don't see any scenario that they don't, because to get to 9-3, that means they will have added either a win over Georgia, who will be in the top 5, or Texas A&M, barring a collapse, should be in the top 5. So Texas's resume heading into a playoff type scenario would be 2 losses to top 5 teams in Ohio State and either A&M or Georgia, and 1 just colossal puke on the field against Florida. No other team will have that kind of resume to stack up against Texas. And we all know, we're the Longhorns, but ESPN wants Texas and Arch Manning in the damn playoff. They are dying for a 12-5 that's Texas versus Oregon or Texas versus something like that, because they want to promote it for 2 damn weeks. So if Texas can get to 9, they can get there. Every other game on the schedule is winnable with this defense if the offense can put up 17.
You think they'll be forgiven for the Florida loss if they go 2-1 against Georgia, A&M, and Vandy and lose close?
Well, let's put it this way. If Vandy wins this week, they're going to be a top 10 team coming into Austin. Mm-hmm. If the defense shuts down now Heisman favorite or Heisman co-favorite Pavia, because I know Ty Simpson from Alabama is getting a lot of love there.
I love that you put that in air quotes, like Pavia is not good. Well done. Well done. That was first world work. Very good job. That was Chance. Did you enjoy that? That was really good.
That was good.
I'm just saying, how many guys through 6-7 weeks were super up on the Heisman list, and by the time we got to December, they weren't even getting a 5th place vote? Because sometimes Vanderbilt's hot right now. What if they lose this week and then lose to us? And next thing you know, it's the same 8-4, 7-5 type team. Is Pavia a Heisman finalist at 7-5? No. I mean, hell, Mateer was a Heisman final, or Mateer is going to win the Heisman.
That one you can put in quotes. I'll let you air quote that one.
It wasn't just the Texas defense. He looked like crap the next week too. Now they won. Congratulations. But you beat a bad South Carolina team. But no,
yeah. And that, by the way, that's an interesting game to bring up, Bo. Go back and look at the numbers that Mateer put up. They were not fantastic. They were sort of what he'd been doing throughout the year. His rating was in the 130s, I want to say. But that's the other thing, guys. I don't know that with this defense and the special teams, the way they're playing, shout out to Ryan Niblett. We should have started by saying his name. But, I mean, the improvement, where does Arch need to go here? If he was forget about the 85.5 against Kentucky. You can't live there. We know. He's living around 140 for the season. Per game, where does he need to be with this defense? If he gives them if he gives them a 140 performance every week, are they going to the playoffs?
Is he running it more?
Sure.
No, I'm saying
yeah, I'll give you what you want.
Yeah.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to. No one else can. So he's going to have to.
That's my point. If he becomes what Oklahoma wants John Mateer to be, which is run it 10 times and throw it, and even if you have your Mateer misfires for picks and all the things, you get the good out of it. Because I will die on this hill. If Arch is running that much and in the flow of the game and getting hit, a lot of the mental issues go away. Because then he's just playing football and he's out there with his guys and his linemen are picking him up saying, let's go. And he reacts. What happens now is crappy run play that gets nothing, back to a huddle. Misfire on a pass. Now it's 3rd and 12. Well, that's not going to happen most times anyway, even if you had Tom Brady as your quarterback. 3rd and long every time is not a place to live. So if they can do that and he can work in the 140s and run it, I do think they go at least 9-3 and they make the playoffs.
Okay. Chance, you agree with that?
To an extent. I mean, I'm not a full buy on it, but I mean, I could say this. If he's in the 150 to 160 range through the air and is in the 45 to 60 yards on the ground a game and is providing 210 yards of total offense in the game by himself, I think they can compete as long as he's not turning the ball over. Because I think if he's doing those things, he's just being consistent. And if he's doing that, that means the offense is just consistently working. It's not keeping the defense on the field. I think if you extrapolate those stats out, this team has a chance to be successful. It's not going to be exciting.
Because real quick, before you jump in, Bo, against Kentucky, I would argue he hung his defense out to dry in time of possession with 39 minutes. But Bo, he's still not hanging him out to dry in terms of horrible interception. If he throws one horrible interception in Lexington, they lose. No. If he fumbles the ball one time and Kentucky gets it, it's over. That is not happening, but he's not doing that. He has been he's been safe enough with the ball. They're not making turnover, 2 straight games now, but they're not being that kind of sloppy.
Well, but I think that's part of what's inhibited him too, because that's that Quinn Ewers mentality that Sark's been preaching about not making mistakes. And so he gets back there and he's gun shy because it's just hammered into his head not to make mistakes. And so therefore he doesn't take chances. I was using Mateer as an example, but if Arch is running and having fun and completing some of these bigger plays that are there, like Chance, you've watched the tape. There are at every game, there's 4 or 5 guys that are breaking Sark. Everybody complaining about the play calling, go find the all 22. There are receivers that if you take out Arch Manning and put in, I don't know, give me a quarterback, the kid from freaking Indiana, Mendoza. You put him with those breaking routes, he definitely have the Heisman. Ty Simpson from Alabama with some of the open receivers would definitely have the Heisman. Arch can be fine in that range. And he could even have a couple interceptions if the good was coming with it. If it was more of the Brett Favre, he's going to throw 2 touchdowns, or he's going to throw 4 touchdowns, but he's going to throw 2 picks with it. All we're getting, the misfires are so bad, they're uninterceptable because he's throwing away, like the throws he's making are so risk averse that he's not giving people chances to do it.
All right, it is the Outsiders. Let's see if we know anything about anything. It is the envelope game. It is brought to you by Battalion Fire Protection. We have our envelopes ready. Before we get to them, Bo, why don't you tell them about Battalion Fire Protection and what they can do for them?
755-6569 is the number. Veteran-owned, Central Texas proud. Chance can attest to this because he does business with Battalion Fire Protection. Full-service fire protection, sprinklers, alarms, extinguishers, inspections, repairs. How long has it been since you had your extinguisher inspected at your business? Probably been a long-ass time. What's going to happen when you go and it doesn't work? Your business goes up in smoke. Battalion is there, as they put it. Your life safety is their mission. Battalion, 755-6569. Just give them a call. Let them come out and look around. Let them do an inspection. Trust me, it's worth your time. Battalion Fire Protection.
All right. We got the envelopes here. Mine says 2 locks, no waiting. We are ready to go. Who wants to go first this week? There's a mock there. No, Bo is shaking his head. Chance, you're going first?
It's so bad, Chad.
The scoreboard is Chance, Jason, and myself all have 1 point so far in the envelope game. Chance, what did you do last week? Let's go. Let's
just go ahead and say I will not get any points this week.
Oh, whoa. Okay. What do you got?
My first one. This one's the one that hurts the most. Texas offense builds on their O-line performance from OU, goes over 200 yards on the ground.
Oh, wow.
Or 2.
Yeah. I think you put the zeros in.
I don't think I'm getting a point on that one.
No, you're not. I don't even need to double check the box score on that one. I'm not double checking that one.
My second one is not as egregious, but it kind of hurt my heart because I wanted it to happen, and that's Lane Kiffin and crew take care of business and hand Gunnar Stockton and the Dogs a loss.
Man, okay, that did not happen either. All right, Bo shook his head, so I'm going to go second. Gentlemen, I got to tell you, from what I recall, I think think I had a good week in the envelope game. Are you ready?
The smugness, he knows.
Here we go. As I recall, let's
Hold on.
just see.
Can I take a Karnak moment?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Number one, the Friday night curse hits again. Louisville beats Miami.
Nice.
That's one. Hang on. Let me write that one down. That's one. Number two, SEC Madness hits Music City. Vandy beats LSU. That's two. Come on.
Nah, good, Chad. Good. Now Bo gets to follow up Chad.
What do you got, Bo?
You should have gone second,
I
Bo.
definitely didn't have Louisville beating Miami.
I figured if it could happen to one
three-pack
Florida
of
team, it could happen to two, and it did.
Arch 3 touchdowns in the first half.
Oh, God. That might be my favorite of the week. Oh, my God.
Vandy pistol whips overrated LSU.
Ooh.
That's a point.
Pistol whips?
Did you watch the game? The score.
I did.
The Vanderbilt dominated that football game.
Chance, will you allow pistol whips?
Considering how Bo's picks never fan out, we'll give him this one.
All right, he's giving him pistol whips. He's giving him the pistol whips. Bo gets
I won't be as braggadocious on my picks from now on. I was just saying Vandy was going to beat a LSU team that's overrated.
See, Bo, you notice my picks got a little. I curtailed it. I didn't keep going. I just went to one basic thing and stopped. That's what I tried last week.
I just want to.
I hit two of them.
I just want to know what is going to happen next week in the Red Stick when A&M just absolutely demolishes the Bayou Bengals.
Hey, now, come on now. You're not going to give
it's
Tiger Stadium
happening.
a little more love than that?
No.
Night game?
No.
I think my third one was Texas 34-13.
Two.
Yeah,
I think I should get credit for getting the 13 right.
You got the 13 right. You did get the 13 right.
If I get no credit for picking last week I said Texas is going to win by 18, they won by 17. I got no credit for that. This week I called the opponent's score. It's just I had way more confidence in us.
Yes. We will play the envelope game next week as well. Shout out to Battalion Fire Protection for sponsoring the envelope game. We will have Jason Dick on the honors system to let us know what he did this week, but we'll write down two predictions. We'll seal it in an envelope and see what happens next week. So we got that. And of course, we're leading into Texas and Mississippi State. We will talk a little bit about that game. Since we have one show this week, we debut in the 10 o'clock hour, of course, on Tuesdays. If you're checking us out Tuesday, thank you so much. Thank you for liking, subscribing, getting your notifications. What did I see the subscriber number at the other day? 165,000 plus and still counting up. Thank you guys for supporting us there. Also, let me give a little love to one of our other partners here. Let's look at some hats. Let's go ahead and look at some Last Stand hats. Look at these bad boys here. Some new arrivals. Look at the cool Texas hats here. Texas Longhorns. Oh, with the logo on the side. See that? Nice. Okay. This one's got the state flag on the other side. We've showed you the doodle hats. The doodle hats with the Longhorns. There's two Longhorns. You got some other animals here. There's Chance's favorite, the doodle bird. It's just fun to say. Yeah. There's your doodle elephant, the duck, the frog, the horse. We got all kinds of good stuff. There's your other, that's the original doodle horn there. The doodle hats inspired by a 4-year-old son of one of the Last Stand hats owners. So very cool that young artist is getting his stuff out there. So check that out. Check out new arrivals. Check out all the great Longhorn stuff they have for you. And if you need the Outsiders hat, it is available. Where's mine? Right here. Yeah, man. 12 different color designs, including the beautiful white that you see here and in the picture. If you need a hat that says legitimately worth a shit, and who doesn't, go to Last Stand Hats and put in the code Outsiders10 when you order your Outsiders hat or anything else. Get you a little discount on the Last Stand hats. So Texas, Mississippi State, gentlemen. It is a midday kick. It's like a 3:15 with the cowbells. So you don't have to deal with like a night game with the cowbells, but it's still crazy. They're going to be so ready to ring those damn things at Arch Manning and Texas and all this stuff. So what's y'all's feeling here? Does that Chance, you talked about changing expectations. What does this make you want to do with this pick? Like go 17-14, or I mean, what do you do here?
I'm living in that world, in that 17-23. Try to hold them 13-14 in that area. I mean,
Right.
if I got to put a number on it, I'll say Texas 23, Mississippi State 14.
Right, somewhere in that range. Bo, is that about the range you're thinking?
It's kind of exactly what I had. I'm going to amend it because I'm going to throw a defensive score on it because Blake Shapen sucks sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go 27-10.
27-10. Yeah.
27-10 with a late special teams or defensive score. It's going to be a dogfight, but then Texas kind of just gets the big touchdown from Arch and then a defensive or special team score right after that to make it look better than it actually was. It's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah, the one thing I got to double check, I admit I haven't as we record the show, is Fluff Bothwell, the running back for Mississippi State. When he got hurt at A&M, was that the season for him or has he played again? Because it looked awful when it happened, and I'll admit I have not followed the story. So Wednesday night, that's one of the first things I'm going to check. He's a pretty good running back. They're just such an inconsistent team. They can give you, I mean, they'll put up a fight. They almost have like a Kentucky feel to me. These are interesting back-to-back for Texas. It's a team that can put up a little bit of a fight, but they're not ultimately getting over the hump. They'll force you into overtime. They forced somebody into overtime this year, and they played A&M really close for a half, and then the Aggies kind of stretched it out in the second half.
Tennessee really close in Knoxville. In Knoxville.
Yes, that's the one, right? They pushed them to overtime, I think, right? Didn't that game go overtime? And they just had,
right down to it.
And they just I know it's Florida, and Florida is whatever, but they pushed Florida right to the end. Should have beat them if they don't turn the ball over late. They, were trying to go beat Florida. So, yeah, I don't know. Texas should be able to handle the game, but
I'm trying to be the eternal optimist that I usually am, and I'm hoping that Arch Manning, with the mental things that I'm talking about, Chance, tell me if I'm missing the boat here, but he lit Mississippi State up last year. That has to at least inspire him mentally to know that he can, because he's played. Now, I know that the numbers, the names on the backs have changed, but he has played Mississippi State and he lit them up. Part of where this hype came from was because of the performance against Mississippi State that I joke about, when twice they had a safety and a corner run into each other. So he had wide open bombs, but that has to have a good mental thought, almost like a golfer going to a course he's lit up, even though he's in a bad slump. It's like, oh, I get this place.
Well, and I think part of, and I don't know how much truth there is to it, but I want to believe there's a lot just because of the family he comes from. But all this noise, all this extra crap that we hear, I think Arch is dealing with what he feels in the film room, what he feels in the locker room. I'm sure he gets the whispers on campus. He's not an idiot, but I think he does a good job secluding himself from the extra noise. So I think it's solely between his ears from a standpoint of what you said, Bo. I think you can build off of last year. Hey, I've played this team. Okay, I've seen them. I kind of know the feel. Like, I feel good about it. Like, you can bring some good juju into it, because let's be honest, if he was living on social media like a lot of the kids do these days, I mean, it'd be rough, and I hate it. I hate it for the kid, and no matter what, Chad. I think you mentioned, and I forgot that you had said that, but repeat what you said to Brian Jones, and I think it was really, really astute by you about you not being a chef.
Oh yeah, well, years ago we were doing radio together. Brian was going on the kind of the you've never played vibe. And I just said to him, I'm like, Brian, I am not a chef, but I know what bad food tastes like. And that's the way I always explain the fan perspective. Like, I think a fan could watch, the beginning of that game with Texas and Kentucky and turn to their friend and say, this is not great offensive football.
Right.
Like, I'm not Lane Kiffin, but this is not great offensive football, right? Right.
And that goes to the point of what I'm trying to say is it's not that we're on this being critical. I mean, we want to see Texas. I want to see these kids succeed. These young men, I want to see them have success. I want Sark to have success. I'm not being negative. It's just what I'm watching on the field, and no amount of post-game interviews telling me we smile and winning is hard in the SEC. And I get it. Those are all things we know. But you can sit there and watch the game and go, that's just not good offensive football. And it's not being negative.
Right. And the other thing, and this is tough to say to a guy like Michael Taft, because he's just got to know they're never going to get the full credit they deserve because of who their head coach is and who their quarterback is. If that offense is going to look like that and you have to bail them out over and over and over again, eventually you'll get love for it. Eventually. But not now. Not like that. Arch cannot have an 85.5 rating. Sark cannot call plays like that. And then you have a defensive player go, come on, we won. What's the deal? Everybody should smile. That's not going to work. Not in a place like Texas, not with that coach and that quarterback combo. It's just not going to work.
But at the same time, Chad, like this is the part that I didn't hear anybody coming out and saying pump the brakes when we were number one in the nation going into to the season and our quarterback is the number. There wasn't anybody out there saying, hey, football's hard. Let's pump the brakes. Let's see it. No, they basked in the glow. They enjoyed it. They had a great time with it. You can't play both sides of that and then turn around and be like, oh, y'all are being negative. Well, at the beginning of the season, you weren't telling people pump the brakes because we do have a little brakes in here.
Now, he can't do that, though. Be real, Chance. He can't do that. He can't go into the Ohio State game and say, I don't really think we're the number one team. We might have 2 losses by the end of October. Like, he can't do that.
You can't. But my point being, you can't have it both ways either.
Well,
like, it's the same argument that I've made time and time again about Arch, who, again, I will reiterate, I want to see the kid do great. I like the kid. Like, you want to root for him, you know? And so I want to see that. But at the same time, like, you can't – he's going to have to wear the criticism just because of his last name, because – he's getting the NIL deals and he got the publicity. He's getting the money because of who his name is. You can't have it both ways.
Oh, yeah.
And that goes not just for Arch. That goes for a lot of the other guys on this team. I'm not getting into specific players, but Chance, for damn sure there were certain players that were renegotiating NIL deals in the spring and potentially threatening to leave so they could get paid more. I'm fine with them getting paid more. But then you can't get paid more and act like you belong in the league of ordinary gentlemen. If you want to be paid like the top of the ticket, you got to act like the top of the ticket. That doesn't mean every game is going to be a blowout. And Chad, you're 100% right. It's about the performance. If we'd have beat Ohio State 17-14 in a freaking pickle fest, it would have still been a great performance because Ohio State's really good at football. Kentucky's not. Kentucky is the last place team. I'm sorry. The Arizona Cardinals lost 2 weeks ago to the Titans because they got in their own way, because they dropped a ball before the end line, because they threw an interception that turned into a fumble, or they got an interception that they fumbled that turned into a touchdown for the other team because they thought they were better than the Titans. And they were, but they screwed up. When you play the worst, you don't have to run it up too far, but you should be able to win that game. And don't give me, it's on the road. It's the SEC. Kentucky may not win another game this year.
Yeah. Plus, it was dark, Bo. Remember how dark it was? They have blue lights. Do you know how scary blue lights are?
At least with Florida, they have 4- and 5-star blue star lights coming at you.
They flashed
at least
lights.
Florida had athletes, and they just out-athleted us. Yeah. Kentucky doesn't have better athletes. And let's be real. Cutter Boley, who is not good at football, looked a hell of a lot better at football than Arch Manning.
He looked yes, he did. I agree with
that. He
looked
like a guy that was fighting for his teammates, and even when he missed a throw, it didn't look like he was throwing it to a different dude. Like, Oh, there's Wingo right there, and then hits the ref in the head.
Yeah, no, they got to get that. They got to get that figured out. All right, in honor of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, it is time for the Mock 5 Top 5. He used to play quarterback in Texas. Now he quarterbacks the Outsiders. Mock 5 Top 5. That's right, and Bo will tell you a little bit about the sponsor a little bit later. Hang on, let me throw them up. We'll throw them up for now. The Integral Construction Services. Bo's going to tell you about that when Chance is done. But Chance, in honor of Mississippi State, let's talk dogs. There are 4 dogs in the SEC. Longhorns are going to see 3 of those 4. They will not hang out with Smokey unless they do it in Atlanta, I guess, or in the playoffs. Obviously, they'll see both Bulldogs, one of them this week, and then they're going to see Uga coming up. And, of course, they're going to see Reveille at the end of the year, assuming Reveille comes to Austin. I'm assuming that is –
I hope so.
I'm going to assume that Reveille will show up. So, Chance, your top 5 breeds of dogs is what we want this week on the Mock 5, top 5. Will the Bulldog make the list? That's the big question. What do you got?
That is the big question. And I will say he is not sitting at number 5 because number 5 goes to what I think is one of the prettiest dogs in the entire world. They're big, they're strong, they're beautiful, and that is the Rottweiler.
Oh, Rotties are nice. Yeah.
Rotties are beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4 would probably be in my top 2 if they didn't shed so much because they are freaking great dogs. They're emotional and hysterical, but they're brilliant and fun, and that is the Golden Retriever.
The Golden Retriever. What a dog parent thing to say. I'd have you up there higher, but you shed too much.
You shed too much. I can't deal with the hair.
Fair enough.
Number 3, because they're just badass.
Yep.
It's a German Shepherd.
Shepherd.
They're police dogs. Notice they're lower too because they do have a shedding problem. I had a German Shepherd, and I like the real German, like boxy head, like the big body, not the American standard that has the squatted hips, because I think it's bad that we even breed dogs to have that because it creates hip problems. But just the regular German Shepherd, they're bad boys.
All right. Fair
Number
enough.
2, because you can't find any dog better for any boy, it's the Labs. Labrador Retrievers are so good.
Okay. Got the Labs. All big dogs so far. What's number 1?
Number 1, because their little faces are so damn cute and their personalities are incredible. They are a form of bulldog, but they're the kind that come from France. The little Frenchies are number 1.
He's going with the French. Of course he is. Of course he is. He's going with the Frenchie. What's your guy's name again?
Steve.
Stevie. That's right. Stevie. They are great. There's something about that face with the ears.
And their personalities are hysterical.
Something about that combo that is fantastic. All right. No Jason Dick to go over the list here. So, Bo, I have to go to you. All big dogs, then a French bulldog on the top of the list. What do you do with these 5 dog breeds?
Chad, I'll tell you, there's one breed that I know is near and dear to the Edge family that if he doesn't put it on the list, I will be shocked.
All right, come on,
What's
Bo.
going on the list? It was just a matter of which dog's coming off.
What you got, Bo?
The actual true best hunting dog, because the ears aren't there to hear. They're there to flap the smells into the nose.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Basset Hound.
Okay.
Amazing because they're faster than you think. They're awesome, and they sleep a lot. So they're really cool. I'm going to say that while I like both breeds, the Golden Retriever and the Lab serve a similar purpose and are very similar. So, Chance, you can pick whether I take out the Lab or the Golden, but the Bassett's coming in.
Well, if I'm going to have to do that, I'll let the arbiter of truth decide that. Because for me, it would be, I would take out the Golden because there's no world a Basset Hound should be in the top 3 dog breeds.
Well, now that's a how dare you.
Next time you stay at Casa de Edge, you're going to have to deal with that statement.
That is a how dare you to say to a hound dog person, because I am a hound dog person. So I'm going to I'll let that go. Not happy with that, but I'm going to let that go.
Slap him right on the wrist.
Actually, you know what? I'm not. I was going to let that go. But you know what, Chance, much like this Texas offense, you don't learn unless you learn. So here's what we're going to do. The Basset goes to number 2. The Lab is out. We're keeping the Golden Retriever. That's what we're doing. Keeping the Golden. There are a lot of great Labs. You are not wrong about the Labs. But Bo makes a good point. the golden retriever and the lab do have some similarities there. So I'll leave the golden in because I also want it to shed on your furniture a little bit and make you mad. Because you said mean things about basset hounds. So we're going to go. Plus, I like the idea that French bulldogs and basset hounds are right at the top of this weird list. We got these ears. We got the big floppy ears. We got all kinds of weird stuff at the top. Then we're guarding the perimeter with the Goldens, the German Shepherds, and the Rotties. So we're menacing at the bottom end. And then as we get to the top, it just gets wild and cute and wrinkly and ears. And yeah.
Can I give my honorable mention?
Sure.
I just assumed Chance was going to go there because he's such a fan of the movie, much like I am. But number 6, and it would have been on the list, but it was never actually done. It was just conceptualized in the movie, Dumb and Dumber.
Mm-hmm.
When you mix a bulldog and a Shih Tzu, you get a bullshit. If it's an actual bullshit dog, I would be in on that in the top 5.
I'm sure someone has bred that along the way.
When I make my second $1 million, I'm buying Bo Edge of bullshits.
That's it. That is it. Yes, Texas going to see, what is Mississippi State's? It's Bully, I think is the name of their bulldog. Very unique, very original. I believe that's right. I think it's Bully the Bulldog in Starkville, Mississippi. So there you go. The top 5 dog breeds. Bo, why don't you tell them about Integro Construction Services? No matter what kind of dog they have, how can Integro help, protect the dog?
Well, what Integro can do is protect the roof, because dogs aren't fixing roofs. Even the hairy ones, even the ones that stand real tall like the Great Danes, they're not. Winter is coming. There will be hail. There will be high winds. But probably not in Austin again, because it happened a couple of years ago. There will not be a blizzard where snow falls, 1/4 inch off the ground. What they can do is the Go Nano technology can reinvigorate the shingles on your roof and add 5, 10, maybe even 15 years of life for a fraction of the cost of replacing a roof. Hell, sometimes it's less than the deductible to just have them come out. It takes one day. They spray the Go Nano technology right on your shingles of your roof, and boom, your roof works again. So as we're heading into winter, storm season, take care of the roof that takes care of your house and takes care of the dogs. It's Integro Construction Services, 987-1273.
There you go. Thanks to Integro for sponsoring the Mach 5 Top 5 each and every week. We appreciate them. We appreciate all of you for checking out the Outsiders, Texas and Mississippi State this week. Let me give you the reminder of where we will be going out to TCH Social Austin again. If you've never had the Bad Beat Bacon, come have an order along with a $3 jellyfish or $2 select draft. The Fanatic cocktail, I've had that. It's tasty. The wings, everybody's loving on the wings. I had the pasta a couple weeks ago. It's fantastic. Last week I did their chicken sandwich instead of grilled. I went with the fried because I was, I was feeling a little bad, and it tasted really good. It was fantastic. They have really, really good stuff out at TCH Social Austin.
Chad, there is no greater joy, and I don't know if Chance agrees with me, than watching you describe food or drink. Like you just get you're like a 4-year-old at Toys R Us with a gift card. You are just so happy to talk about like the minuscule details, like, and they put a pickle and it was on the left side of the chicken and it made each bite a little better than if it had been in the middle. Like you just nail it.
The chicken sandwich, the bun. Oh my God.
No, but like
it's so good. So good. The bun on a burger or a chicken.
Like for a fat guy, I should talk about food that way, but I don't. I just eat it. Yes.
Because you know what the bun is on a burger or chicken sandwich? It's like the handshake of the sandwich. If you give me a bad bun, I don't even know if I want the sandwich. It's a great bun. Great bun.
That's why and I miss them. There's not very many around here anymore. But the Fuddruckers bun, that was my thing.
Oh, the Fuddruckers bun was nice. That's a good call.
Like that buttered and grilled bun.
Yeah.
Good call. We went out to my buddy's hunting lease, affectionately known as the beer lease, which tells you a lot more things get drank than shot.
Beer lease. That's good.
They actually have a sign that says, "Welcome to the beer lease."
Fantastic.
We stopped at Storms. and they have those. They like not everybody's cup of tea, but the bun gets a little burnt on the flat iron with like all of the butter and seasoning from I don't know 100 years of cooking burgers on the damn flat iron. And Razor had it. He goes,
Chance Mock, please tell me you've been to Storms.
I've never even heard of it.
Chance. Oh,
it's
God.
phenomenal.
All right, Bo, let's help him out. The one I hit is always in Lampasas. There used to be one in Burnett as well.
There is one in Burnett. There's one in Lampasas. There's one, as far as I know, near Temple.
Okay. And Chance, here's the best way I could explain it to you. Bo says I talk about food well. Here we go. Imagine the best Sonic you have ever been to in your life. Then imagine that it's run by like a cranky old man who's been running a diner his whole life on one of those big flat griddles.
Like Bob's Burgers?
Dude, Storms is incredible. It's everything you love about a great Sonic, but everything's better. Everything.
Okay,
it's
I can get with that.
Amazing.
Because I do enjoy a Sonic burger. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, and then the choices are crazy. Most of the time I just get a ham sandwich and then a ham and cheese sandwich and I add bacon. And it's just the best choice ever. And they grill, like Bo said, they grill it up just right. It's like old diner style. It's so good.
Do you pull in like a Sonic?
Yes. That's why I said it's set up. You'll think it's a Sonic. It says Storms. You pull in just like it's Sonic. They got the story up there. There's way too many items on the menu. It takes you like 20 minutes to figure it out. They have a chicken cordon bleu burger.
They have a chili relleno.
That is out of this world. Like everything they have, the shakes, the fries, it's silly good at Storms. You need to go have it. It's incredible.
I'm looking at the website.
I did not think the Outsiders were going to have a Storms commercial this week, but hey, what are you going to do?
Hey,
what are you going to do?
It's good.
The sign reminds me of Thundercloud.
Yes, exactly. The sign does make you think of Thundercloud. Absolutely. One thing I did know. Go ahead.
The facility, like I'm trying to use a movie analogy. You remember how jankety the movie theater was in the movie Twister?
Oh, yeah.
That's what, like, the Storms facilities are from, like, 1963, and they haven't put on a new coat of paint ever. Like they're blue, yellow, and white, and sometimes they just all intermingle.
Yeah, Chance, it is so wonderfully lived in. You will love it. You'll love Storms. It's so good. One thing we did know we were going to talk about, we're always talking about Poncho on this show. Let's show you the black first this time. Look at the After Dark, paying tribute to Austin City Limits. Got the cool stuff on the pocket on the front, the great design on the back. They've got a limited edition t-shirt as well. Go to ponchooutdoors.com/outsiders. Also consider the pink stuff while October is rolling. You get $10 off your first order with our code /outsiders. 50% of the profits from those pink shirts go to Casting for Recovery. Shout out to Poncho. As I mentioned earlier, I'm rocking my Poncho t-shirt. Bo's got the Longhorn. What did they call the one with the logo? Bo, do you know?
I don't. You get the names.
Yeah, I know the names, but I didn't know that one.
This one is affectionately known as the Icy White. I don't know what it's called on the Poncho site, but for me, it's the Icy White.
And is that the natty backed one?
Yes, but I don't think they're giving me a refund considering they sent it to me.
Yeah, they're not doing that. And like you said earlier, right now, this doesn't exactly feel like a national championship team, but we'll see if they can get things turned maybe.
Don't think I won't be trying to turn it in for something if we win a national championship.
Yeah, you will.
I'll be like, hey, just stickers. Yeah, give me a bag of stickers. Give me something. We won a natty.
All right, you know what? Real quick, I'm going to show everybody this. This right here looks like a man who is now seeing the Storms menu for the very first time. Chance, are you going over the menu? What are you doing?
No, I'm reading the history.
Yeah.
It started in 1873, just so you know.
Dude, it's out of control.
And originally it was called the Dairy Q.
Is that right?
1950, the Storm family opened the Dairy Q, which Elvis Presley visited often while stationed at Fort Hood. Dairy Q didn't rename itself till Storms Drive-In till 1970.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Yep. When you get a chance, get by there. In fact, I know, in a few weeks when Texas has their off week, I'm driving out to Cisco to see Doc and Sylvia and watch the Aggie game that weekend with them. I guarantee you I'm stopping at Storms. Guaranteed. I'm hitting the drive-through.
We have to make a trip.
I'm doing it. And my niece may go with me, and I got her hooked on it a couple years ago. You can't stop. Here's the other great thing, Chance. When they bring you the food, the bag is already greasy at the bottom. It's like the grease is getting out as they're bringing you the bag. And all they give you is one little napkin about like that, and it's got a rubber band wrapped around it. The sheer gall that it takes to serve something that wonderfully greasy and then hand me a little bitty napkin.
Here's your tiny napkin.
It's awesome. If they brought me a roll of paper towels, it might not be enough, but they bring you the one little one. That's all they bring you. One per sandwich.
So they started something new, Chad. Inside the roll with the napkin is one ketchup packet. As if one ketchup packet is going to solve all the problems.
My God.
Big bag of greasy, because they serve you the fries in the bag with the burger. That's why it gets so greasy. The fries aren't even in a container. They just take them straight out.
Oh, it's like Five Guys.
God,
Like Five Guys.
I love Storm.
I haven't ever been, but okay.
You've never been to a Five Guys?
No.
I have been to Five Guys. That's good. That's good burger.
I saw what they wanted to charge for a burger and just said, no, I'm going to go somewhere like Whataburger.
The only place I think I've ever been that gives me the same vibes that I might have loved a little more. It's not there anymore, but remember over on Lamar, across from the old radio station, before they put in a place called Counter Cafe, I think, that did these incredible like gourmet burgers. But before that, what was it called? It was a griddle diner place, and the guy was rude as hell. It was very much like the suit Nazi thing. Like he was mean to you, but you wanted him to be mean to you. What was that place called? Oh my God, I can't think of it.
Ketchum will know.
Oh, it was so good.
It wasn't a burger bracket.
No, it wasn't a burger. No, it wasn't a burger. It wasn't a burger place or have a burger name. They put a burger place in later at the same spot. I just can't remember what this was called.
Are you talking about the Hofbrau Steakhouse?
No. It was like a little diner right across the street from where the radio station was, right down from what's the record store? Waterloo. Right down from Waterloo Ice House, or the Waterloo Ice House and the Waterloo Records. I can't remember what the place was called, but
Dirty Martin's has a good burger.
Who does?
Dirty Martin's.
Dirty's is good. Dirty's has had a little up and down over the years. There was a little up and down, a little drop. I've heard it's back though. I've heard like Dirty's is back to the quality we expect.
So
yeah,
we went there a couple years ago. Way back in the day, Morris Williams Golf Course, the original one right off by the airport, used to have the absolute best cheeseburger served the same way as Storm's, because that flat iron. You looked at it and was like, that's a health violation on its own.
All right.
We've turned into the Food Network.
I can't. It really did. It really did. Yeah, I can't find the name of the old place.
The Outsiders doesn't hit. Maybe we'll do Food with Chad.
We might have to do it.
Football with friends. We could do some bonus episodes in the spring. Food with friends with Chad Hastings.
Food with friends. I do end up showing a lot of food on the shows and stuff, thanks to some of our great partners, including TCH Social Austin, which is kind of how we got started, I guess, on this. Come see us for the watch party. 3:15 kick Saturday afternoon for Texas and Mississippi State. You don't even need to bring your earplugs, because through the TV, the cowbells are annoying as hell, but they're not that loud if you're just watching the game. They don't have that kind of volume. All right, we will be back next week, debuting on Tuesday at 10 a.m. as we normally do. Next week, we'll have to see what happens to see if it's a two-show kind of week. Are we going to give Vanderbilt that kind of love? I mean, Bo, if they win this week, we going to try to argue for two shows next week? If Texas and Vandy both win?
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, everybody's going to be going hunting that weekend, so we give them something to listen to while they're sitting in a deer blind. Super Cooper's the Monday after that, so we're going to Chance is coming in town. We're going to we may take a road trip to Storms that weekend.
Oh, that's what we need to do.
Could be good.
Yep.
We'll go out to the beer lease and misfire. Well, you might actually hit. I did hit one out of my 9 shots. I did bring one dove to a shallow grave in a jalapeno popper. So we can go out and shoot some birds and get some Storms and have a nice day.
There it is. All right. So we know we're back next Tuesday, maybe 2 shows next week. Stick with us and find out. We'll debut the Tuesday show at 10 a.m. as we normally do. Hopefully Texas handles their business this weekend and sets up a big matchup with Vanderbilt. Vandy's playing Missouri, if I'm not mistaken, hosting Mizzou this week. That's an interesting game. If they get by it, then we got an even bigger matchup next week. Y'all take care. Until next week, Jason, Dick, we hope everything is good with the family. All of our best to your family, sir. Look forward to seeing you next week. And for all of you, until next week, we are the Outsiders, and we are legitimately worth a shit. See ya.